already have apps that can tell us when our train is due, when it's going to rain, and when to exercise. Well, imagine if the building you live in could do the same and more. A future where your bathroom can give you a daily health check is not as fanciful as it seems. Dr. Chris Luebkeman is the Global Director of Foresight and Innovation at global engineering firm Arup, the consultants responsible for the mind-blowing Chinese aquatic centre, the Water Cube. He joined us earlier to paint us a picture of the buildings and cities we will live in the future.
To the future, some of the main issues that we can be anticipating are demographic change and climate change and access to all sorts of opportunities for the citizens and the urban citizens. We know the world is urbanizing, but we're not exactly sure what that urban world is going to look like. William Gibson said the future is already here, just unevenly distributed. So therefore, if we believe that, we can be looking around the world for sort of inklings of what tomorrow might be for us here in Australia or any other parts of the world. We're probably looking at densifying, we're probably looking at increased mass transit, and we're looking at an aging population or an aging infrastructure. So we have to be dealing with all of these sort of challenges and opportunities at the same time.
Tell me, what are our buildings going to look like in the future? I was really interested in the It's Alive report that said that buildings are going to craft their own environments. Can you explain that?
Yeah, sure. So when we think about the buildings of tomorrow, we have to also look at the buildings of today, because so many of our buildings, which we will have, we already have. So we can be thinking that those beautiful sandstone facades will still be beautiful sandstone facades 100 years from now. But those new constructions, we can imagine, will have facades which can breathe. As we reduce our use of fossil fuels, we can have facades which no longer have to keep those fumes out, but they can let the air in. Or if we think of our skins of our buildings more like the skins of a human being or the skins of an animal, which breathe, which actually change color or change porosity, letting air in or out, they sweat or they don't over time, that will be where we're looking at.
Just taking a step back, you said that buildings can breathe. What do you mean by that?
Most buildings are designed to protect the inhabitants from the environment. Now, what is it they're protecting you from? They're protecting you from rain, from wind, and also from noxious fumes that we have in our cities. But what if we could not have to protect against noxious fumes? If we could let the beautiful sea breezes in, since most of our cities are within sea breeze range, what would happen if you could really let that wind in a very beautiful way, let the smells of nature come in, or to let that clean oxygen come in rather than keeping the carbon monoxide out? And so this is a matter of the building materials and the building systems changing. And we're seeing the implementation of intelligent buildings more and more all over the world. Intelligent in that they're well designed and they allow the users of all kinds to sort of adjust their own environments to suit them. That's aptly going to be more in the future.
So Chris, what are some of the other ways that buildings can manipulate living environments? What else can we expect?
We'll definitely see buildings which help us manage our lives better and be better consumers of the planetary resources. So better consumers of energy, better consumers of water, and I would even argue better citizens of our communities. People love to be together. If they didn't love to be together, we wouldn't have cities. It's a place for exchange of ideas, of opportunity. And if your building helps you know how long it's going to take to get someplace, or reminds you if you want to walk, you need to go now, or perhaps it tells me, since I will be a diabetic, it's in my family, maybe my building and my toilet will actually tell me, my bathroom will tell me how I'm doing as far as my health is going. It actually gives me a health checkup every day. So it helps me take care of myself, my family, and say my community.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Well, my next question was, how will buildings need to adapt to an older population? So they would obviously work then for our older citizens. What are some other ways that our homes will adapt as we age?
We have to be thinking about how we can allow these places and spaces to allow us to age gracefully at home. Because we need to allow an individual, as they age, the dignity of staying in their home, to remind me that I need to be taking my medicine, or remind me I need to go to the toilet, because sometimes I forget, or remind me that my doctor appointment is coming tomorrow, and to help me visualize that journey so it's not scary. So augmented reality, virtual reality, the room will help me see the steps I'll be going through in order to get to that doctor's office or to the therapist to help me, again, live a more fulfilling life.
Can you give me an example of what a room in a house like that would look like? Are there going to be alarms going off? I mean, how will it work in reality?
Yeah, so when we're putting these ideas into reality, it will depend upon the culture of the individual, because the future must give us choice, not focus on singularity. So that if you're an elder woman or an elder man, if you're hard of hearing, hard of seeing, that there will be cues to help you interact in the way that's best for you. And we're already working with different societies and different nonprofits around the world to look at the best way to give you cues. For example, in a train station, it's really important for blind individuals or those hard of seeing to have cues which their ears can hear, like a fountain or a certain noise, which is a rhythmic noise, which can help them to find their way around the station. So the room will interact with me as I determine it, right? I think that's going to be very important. It could be color, it could be light, it could be music, it could be an animal, it could be a robot. You know, who knows what's going to happen with that.
So Chris, you've also talked about how buildings in the future will address social stress, the stress of living in a big city. Will our homes somehow make our lives run more smoothly?
Different individuals feel stress differently. Our cities will help us live better lives, I believe, by helping reduce my stress in the way that I need my stress reduced. For example, I like being at appointments early. So I would want the city to help me know where traffic is strong, weak, where the pathways are clear or not clear, so I could walk or take the bus or ride my bike or take an Uber or whatever to get me there on time or even early. So it is my choice how I'm going to be able to do this. And so this is a stressful point for me. Or being able to find good food. For some individuals, they have no access to good food. It's very stressful. Or finding a place to eat, or being able to have food delivered to them at home. So when we look at these, all of these stress points can be addressed through behavioral changes and or technological changes in the built environment, which allow you to have, say, a locker at the bottom of a building to which deliveries can be made for you, at whatever is best for you. So I think things like that are already happening all over the world and will happen more and more.
Finally, technology has us all connected these days. Can you explain how the Internet of Things will change our buildings and our cities?
Instead of the Internet of Things, I like to call it the Internet of Everything. Because when we're looking forward, like it or not, we will all be connected and things will be connected. We'll be able to talk to each other. It's already predicted there's going to be more devices connected than humans on the planet within the next couple of years. And if we think about the furniture being able to talk to the electrical system, if we think about our white goods being able to talk to the city electrical grid so that we can moderate the needs of crossing the entire city of electricity or water, so that the overall demand meets the overall supply, we come into a very, very different situation than we're coming into now, where peaks are far exceeding the supply. And so by connecting all these things, it allows us to really manage these as holistic systems. And it is this systems thinking which is probably going to be the most significant change moving forward.
Chris Luebkeman, thank you so much for joining us today.
Not a problem. Been a pleasure.
Coming up after the break, think fabulous artwork is outside your budget? Think again. We'll show you how you can afford it up next.